On this episode of Trying Something New, we're going to tell you 15 things that you don't know about us. We are a family of 5 that loves adventure, connecting with people, and trying something new.
Try something new every day. 4 years ago, we got rid of our house and all of our stuff and moved into an RV full-time to give us the freedom to explore the world.
So hit that subscribe button and let's get ready to try something new. So a lot of people ask us questions all the time about how do we get started, how do we do this, what's up, what's our background, where are we from? So we figure we're going to answer those questions right now.
I think I'll just let you talk the whole time.
I think I like that better too.
So the first thing you might not know about us is last week we didn't put up a video. The reason why we didn't put up a video is because we had COVID and I was too sick to sit at the computer for hours and hours and hours to edit.
101.8.
So that's the first thing you didn't know. We're about 8 or 9 days in now. We're coming out of it. We're about 95% back.
I'm about 14, 15 days in.
Yeah, and she lost her sense of smell and taste. I didn't lose that, but I have zero energy, super fatigued. But that's neither here nor there. We're feeling good now, sweating a lot. Time to get back to
If you had it, how long did it take before you got back your sense of taste and smell?
So the first question we always get asked is, how the heck did we meet? Well, it's a really cool story. I used to be a restaurant manager, a restaurateur, and we had a mutual friend named Stephanie, who I worked with and was her best friend that she used to do triathlons with. And Stephanie would come to work and she'd say, Jimmy, I need you to call this girl Sandy. You guys will definitely hit it off. She's really cool, amazing, fun, and all that great stuff. And then she'd go to Sandy and say,
She goes, Sandy, there's a guy at work that I think you're gonna like. He's got big muscles and tattoos. And I'm like that's my criteria? But she's like, I gave him your number. When he calls you, don't be weird. And I'm like, don't be weird, what does that mean?
So I sat on her number for 2 or 3 weeks, and every day Stephanie would ask me, did you call her, did you call her, did you call her? And then finally one day I just mustered up the cojones to call her, and then I did, and...
What was that conversation like, Jimmy?
Amazing.
Hi.
Hey, what's up? This is Jimmy.
What you doing?
Nothing much, just talking to you.
Oh, really? Me too.
Can't wait to see you.
All right, I can't wait to meet you too. See you soon.
So after we talked on the phone and really hit it off, we decided to have a date and meet up in person. So she was training for a triathlon. I've been hitting the gym a lot. So we decided to meet up at the swimming pool and just lay it all out there in our, in our first encounter.
Well, Jimmy was in the pool with a friend doing some laps, and I got there a little early because I knew that if you go up in the rec center in the gym, you can look out over the pool. So I'm like, I gotta see what this guy looks like. So I run up there, I'm watching, and I go, whoa, okay, all right. Big muscle, swimming, the water glistening on him. I go, okay.
Hey, what's up, ladies?
So we got out.
Then I got nervous to go down, and I was like, oh God, this is gonna be weird.
We got out of the pool, we had a great conversation, hit it off from the start. We went out to dinner a couple days later, and then I never left her side. I went over to her house, I'm like, dang, this chick's got a house and a car? Wow.
Oh my gosh, she's ballin'.
That's a big time chick.
So
right
that
there.
was in August of 2004.
And since then, I never left. I'm like,
never left.
I'm not leaving this one. This
It's like
is
gum on my shoe.
Ooh, it's getting hot in here.
It is.
So right now we're in Florida, in the Florida Keys, in the middle of summer, and we're recording this video with no AC on, so
So that way there's good audio for you guys.
what a sacrifice.
So we hope you appreciate it.
Sacrifice we're making for good audio. All right, what's the next thing? That's how we met. What's the next question that was?
All right.
We got a piece of paper here that we're reading off of, so let's see what the next thing is.
All right, where are we from?
All right, this is a funny story that Sandy likes to laugh at me about, but she has a funny one too. I grew up in the woods of Washington State, up in the Pacific Northwest.
Makes me think of Jason, Friday the 13th.
Me too, because that was in my backyard for sure.
Jason's reign of terror.
The creepy, dark lakes out in the woods. That's where I grew up.
And that's where you used to hang out and ride your bike, and oh my gosh.
So Sandy had this idea that I grew up wearing flannels and...
Like a lumberjack kind of thing, you know? Like he's swinging axes and chopping wood.
Kind of was, a little bit. We'd disappear in the wood for hours and hours and hours. And my senior picture actually is probably one of the funniest things I've ever seen because...
Oh my God, yes, we are showing that picture.
I'll probably cut it in right here. But not only am I wearing a flannel, I'm also wearing socks with sandals in my senior picture. And everybody told me, don't wear your socks and your sandals in your senior picture.
Even the photographers, if they are telling you, okay, there's not many standards there in those school pictures.
All right, so that's pretty funny. So I don't wear socks and sandals anymore, definitely. But then when I met Sandy, she said, I grew up in Queens, New York, and we all grew up with that movie Coming to America, where Eddie
Well,
Murphy...
let me interject here.
All right, let's go,
okay.
let's go.
So anytime that I told somebody that I was from New York and they go, oh, what part? And I say Queens, the look on their eyes. And I go, it's coming, I know you're thinking of Coming to America. That was Jamaica. I didn't grow up in Jamaica. It was another area, but it was okay. It was safe and it was...
Even if you did, who cares? But that's just the...
It's just the funniest thing, because in Eddie Murphy, Queens! He points on the map.
Queens.
And I don't know what it is. It left a mark on everybody. So when I said Queens, they were like, oh, I know what you're talking about.
All right, so, we always say that. All right, so.
So say something different. All right, we went to Tony Robbins.
Wait, no, we're not there yet. We're still talking about our relationship. So about 2 years into our relationship, this is something people don't know, me and Sandy actually broke up for a period because I was acting like an immature little jerk, and I was dealing with a very sophisticated woman here. So this woman had to teach this little boy how to be a man. And so, Ryder's over here laughing. And so we broke up for a little period of time, and man, that was the worst time of my life because I lost the dream, man. So I had to get it back, and what better way after a few months of pleading and begging to get it back than to offer her a trip to Bora Bora, Tahiti, and Moorea.
3 days in each location. I was like, all right, I'll go.
All right. Well, man, that's all it takes, huh? And so we whisked away to this exotic tropical foreign location and had a wonderful time. The water was amazing.
Amazing.
We did an overwater bungalow.
We are going back to Bora Bora.
But we're going to go on our boat this time. We can really enjoy it and spend crazy amount of time there. But the moral of the story is, on the 10th day, the day we were leaving, I wrote in the sand, "Will you marry me?"
And I was like, is he Will? I go, okay, Will, you, marry. And I go, is he proposing right now?
And then after all that, I wrote someday. I wasn't joking around. I was like, wouldn't this be funny?
And I was like, oh my God, he's doing it. He's asking me to marry him. And then I saw someday and I went, what a jerk.
I thought I was lucky enough just to go on a damn trip with you again. I think she's ready to get married after we just broke up and got back together.
I think we were together for a minute. Like, it wasn't just
yeah, I know, but
get back and go to Bora Bora. But yeah, so I was like, oh my God, he really just put someday on there? I'm like, all right. Because my cousin kept asking, did he ask you to marry him? Did he ask you? Because, every girl is like, he's whisking me off to Bora Bora, this amazing trip, something's going to happen, right? He's going to pop the question or something. And then there he is, doing it. And then he wrote, someday. And I was like, you jerk.
So I didn't know about that part of the story until like a couple years later. She was telling me, do you remember when you wrote someday in the sand? I go, yeah. She goes, I really thought you were going to ask me to marry you. And I was like, oh my gosh, are you serious? It wasn't even on
it's such a guy thing, right?
It wasn't even on my radar at that point.
I'm not going to generalize, but I think it's kind of a guy thing. Like, I'm clueless as to what, oh my God.
On a side note, this is one I'm just going to throw in there. We don't even have it on the list. When I did finally ask Sandy to marry me, I chartered a helicopter to the Grand Canyon.
You sound so fancy
I
with
know,
all this stuff,
right? I used to be gangster back in the day. I better step up my game to how I used to be.
Seriously.
Chartered a helicopter to the Grand Canyon. We got out to have a champagne toast.
The day after my birthday.
The day after her birthday. And then as we had the champagne toast, I got down on one knee and asked you to marry me. And I talked in a baby voice. And I wish I had the footage here with us, but the footage is back in storage in Las Vegas.
I'm glad we don't have the footage. I would not want to show that.
Daddy, will you marry me? Yeah, it was hysterical. So the Grand Canyon, she said yes. We flew away back in a helicopter, landed on the Las Vegas Strip. It was pretty cool.
It was pretty cool.
All right.
You talk way too much. Way too much.
Oh my God.
All right, now let me do this one. Yeah.
I'm trying to get through this because it's hot.
Yeah, but you don't even give me a chance.
Oh, all right, go. Tell us.
All right, now let me talk about the next 10.
Tell them about Ironman.
When we first met, I was doing a bunch of marathons and triathlons with my buddy Stephanie. I don't even know how many triathlons I did. Probably 3 half Ironmans, many sprints and Olympics, and then I did, I think, about 6 marathons. So I was totally dialed in to racing and sports, and I loved it. So when we met, Jimmy was getting interested in doing triathlons because at work with Stephanie, they would talk about it, and he's like, oh, I might want to try one of those. So when we hooked up, we started training instantly, right? We started going on runs, bikes, and swims. And so he did a couple of triathlons and stuff. But the goal when you do this kind of stuff is the Ironman. Like, that's the crown jewel. Like, if you can do the Ironman, like, it's a notch in your belt, right? So since I had done so many triathlons already and I did half Ironmans, the next goal was an Ironman.
Over 2,000 men and women from across the United States and around the world have come here to Coeur d'Alene, Idaho for their chance to prove something to themselves, for their chance to become an Ironman. There will be pain, lots of it, and there will be questions. Is it worth it? Is this possible? Can I do it? This is the Ironman. Anything is possible.
And so we set our hearts out to do an Ironman. We started training like crazy. And we both finished an Ironman holding hands, crossing the finish line together. 15 hours and 52 minutes later, we did it.
They say there's 3 moments that you'll remember in your life.
What?
Your first child, when you get married, and when you cross the finish line at an Ironman.
Oh my gosh.
That was pretty good. I'm getting emotional talking about it.
Aww.
Maybe it's because I don't feel good, but.
It's so hot in here.
First child.
This is the first child, firstborn.
So yes, we did an Ironman, and I have to say that if you are into fitness and sports, like, that's a huge goal. And once you conquer that goal, I mean, really, I don't even know what else besides ultra stuff. Yeah. And I'm not into the ultra stuff.
I might do a 100-mile.
Doing a 100-mile run.
I'm the last child.
The last child.
And I'm in the middle.
There you go.
All right, we got 3 of them. In case you didn't know.
3 kids. I was the middle child too, and Jimmy was the oldest.
Firstborn.
All right, so after the Ironman, we decided to finally get married. And what did we do? Let's see. You proposed, and then we got married July 21st of 2007. And we decided, I always knew that I wanted to get married on the beach. On the beach, blue water behind me. And so we decided, let's get married in Cozumel, Mexico. We knew the beach we were gonna do it on. Then we started inviting. So if you don't want a big wedding, the best thing to do is to have a destination wedding. We definitely did not want a big wedding. We wanted to have just a select few people there. Intimate wedding. We're not the big flashy kind of people.
We had about 35 people fly in to Cozumel and spend a week with us, and man, we had a great time. We did ATV tours, we rented a catamaran, took everybody out snorkeling, massages on the beach.
It was
amazing. It was a great time. A
was
really,
really
good
cool.
time.
So we got married in Cozumel, Mexico, and then we had our honeymoon. We just stayed there, went to Playa del Carmen, Tulum, did all the sightseeing stuff. That was really fun. And yeah.
Oh, here's a funny story. As we were walking down the aisle after we got married,
oh yeah, this is really funny.
we played this hardcore EDM song. That's what we wanted, our exit song. And the wedding planner came over afterwards and apologized to us over and over and over.
She stopped us halfway down the aisle. Oh my God, is this the wrong song? And I go, no, that's the right song. And she's like, oh, okay. I was like, she probably doesn't get that request much that often of playing.
We're hardcore ravers, so.
EDM music as we walk back down the aisle. But yep, that was us. So almost 2 years after getting married, we had Nixon, our firstborn. And we knew that when we were gonna have kids, that we didn't wanna have the kids go to daycare, and we work a 9 to 5, and we never really, I wanted to always be home with my kids, right? So, but how do you do that? When Jimmy was a restaurant manager at Nobu, and I was actually a cocktail waitress at the Palms, for a few years, and then I quit that and I started doing real estate, which I loved. But you're at the beck and call of your clients when you're doing residential real estate. And so when we had Nixon, I knew soon after, I was breastfeeding and it just wasn't really working out. So I stopped doing real estate, and then Jimmy was the sole breadwinner of the house. But he would leave at 4 o'clock every day, 5 days a week, and I'm like, this just sucks. This is not how I pictured parenthood, he's gone most of the time. So we knew the only way that we could do that is if we had our own business and we were our own bosses, because otherwise you're working for somebody else. So long story short, we were thinking about it, like, what could we do? How can we start our own business? We don't have any experience doing anything, where we could start our own business.
And at the time, I was making home videos and posting them on Facebook.
Of Nixon.
Of Nixon. And this is like a long time ago. And people are like, wow, I really love your home videos. These are amazing.
It was like 13 years ago.
Yeah. And our cousin came into town at the time and showed us his wedding video, and we were like hysterically crying. So we started a video production company and started off doing really great right out of the gate. Like we did 40 weddings our first year, hugely successful, putting out some great content, really surprising ourselves and our clients. So it ended up being a win-win for everybody. And we started that business 12 years ago now. And that's what's really propelled us to travel around the world, chase our dreams, try something new. The film company is called Something New Films, and then we did a spin-off of that when we were trying something new, and that's our YouTube channel. So we have quite an extensive background when it comes to editing and filmmaking, and we've been pretty fortunate to have our craft take us to. We went to South Africa for a job, we went to Finland for a job, we went to France for a job, and the one time we went to France, that's what kind of really changed our whole outlook on everything. Is we met this family called World Towning. And they opened our eyes to this travel lifestyle. Yeah, travel lifestyle, world schooling.
So we're very thankful to you guys.
Yeah.
Thank you. Shout out to World Towning.
We did a promo video for them, and yeah, we came back after that, sold everything, moved into the RV, and that was in 2017. And here we are, 2021, 5-6 years later, and we're getting ready to get on the next adventure, which we'll talk about a little bit later in this video.
So after we heard about this whole world schooling thing, we were hooked, obsessed. That's all we thought about, because our kids were in school and we were like, it was miserable. This just wasn't fun. This wasn't how we envisioned parenting and having kids. So we heard about this world schooling. I instantly got onto the research, digging down, what's going on, what is this about? And then we found out that there was a world schooling summit happening in Mexico, like a couple months later. And we were like, oh my God, we're going to that thing. So we brought the kids, we go, we meet all these amazing families that we're still friends with today. And saw what their lives were. And if you don't know anything about world schooling, I suggest highly, if you are sick of the whole school system thing with your kids and whatever, check out world schooling, road schooling, anything. This alternative lifestyle is absolutely amazing. And so we went there, met all these families, said, okay, that's it.
While we were there in Mexico at this World Schooling Conference, we realized that it was our 10-year anniversary.
Yes.
And so we got married in Mexico, and we said, while we're in Mexico, why don't we renew our 10-year vows, right? And so we start talking to the lady at the front desk, and she goes, oh, my friend's a shaman, and he does renewals in some cave out in the middle of nowhere.
Cenote cave.
A cenote, that's right. And so we're like, can you arrange that? And she goes,
for tomorrow morning?
She goes, tomorrow morning, do you guys want to go do it? And we're like, oh my gosh,
all right. So we spent the rest of the day trying to find a photographer and a videographer to film it for us and take pictures of it, because we're like, this is going to be some amazing footage, amazing shots. And luckily, at 7 in the morning, a photographer said yes. So literally in the taxi on the way to the cenote, I'm paying, I'm filling out the contract, taking care of the business. And he met us there a few hours later, and it was unbelievable. One of the coolest things that the shaman had prepared when we got there was he had little baskets of seeds and beans, and everything represented something. And so to incorporate the kids, we each had to grab a handful of each one, put them all together, and then we threw it into the cenote water, which was supposed to represent like the circle of life. Right? And oh my gosh.
As our seeds had our wishes in them.
Yes, oh yeah, we put our wishes on the seeds.
The seeds went out into the world and planted and became their own journey and all that cool stuff. So
the way he explained it was really cool.
That was amazing.
I can't believe that there's 2 cenotes in there. I thought it was like a whole different land over there, but it wasn't, it was just the water.
That was so beautiful and so special. And I got very emotional down there. That was really awesome.
So on a side note though, one of our first trips international as a family was to Thailand. And one year we opted to forego Christmas and we decided to go on an adventure instead. Instead of spending all that money on Christmas, we decided to spend that money going to Thailand.
Experiences over things.
That's right. And we spent 2 weeks in Thailand, and we spent Christmas morning in Phi Phi Island. And Santa Claus brought the kids snorkels and gave them $20 to go to a little market, and Elfie showed up, and it was by far the best Christmas.
Our kids still talk about it. So if you guys are questioning on, for Christmas and the holidays, do you want to do the same old? I don't know if that's what you do, but we were doing the Christmas tree and the presents and all that. And I think every year we realize more and more. I mean, it's just that's what generations do, right? And that's what we did, and that's what you did, and
it's just ingrained in us.
I'm like, it's just stuff. It's stuff. I hate it, you know. So that's what this whole world schooling lifestyle has brought us as well, is opening our eyes to the experiences far, far, far outweigh anything that you could have gotten your kid.
Let's do it again.
Yes, let's do it again.
All right, what's the next thing? Oh my God, it's so hot in here.
It is really hot.
I feel like old Southern Belle out on my porch drinking some iced tea in the middle of summer.
All right, one of my favorite experiences that we did was a few years ago. We love positivity, motivation, inspirational stuff, and we listen to Tony Robbins a lot. I don't know if there's any Tony Robbins fans out there. You can put something in the comments. But we went to a Tony Robbins Unleash the Power Within, a 4-day thing in LA. And one of the things that you have to do is you have to walk on hot coals. And on the first day, I knew that you had to walk on hot coals at some point. But for some reason, I just thought it was the last day. So I'm like, we got plenty of time for that. But I found out it was the first day. In a few hours, we had to walk on hot coals. So what they do, they mess with your mind, because they do the hot coals right outside the convention doors, so you could smell the fire coming in, and all of a sudden you're like, oh my gosh, like this is real. This is happening. Then they show you on the screen all the fire and them raking it, getting it all ready for us, and I was just like, oh my God, this is gonna happen.
What?
But it did. We did it. What was the chant?
Cool
moss, cool moss, cool moss. So the whole crowd, thousands of people, were chanting
15,000
Cool
people.
Moss. I don't know why Cool Moss, but that's what it was.
Hey, whatever, it worked.
And it worked. It was what, 10 to 12, 15 feet of hot coals, and we walked across the whole dang thing.
And after that, everybody in the convention center was bonded. The next day we came in and we were all brothers and sisters. And it was time.
amazing.
It was time to get it on. And
So that's one of those things.
Amazing.
We definitely tried something new. It was unbelievable to push yourself and to, well, actually, not just that, because, you know, there's a lot of fear. It's the mind over matter thing, because that's what he teaches you. It's mind over matter. You get your body into a state where you literally walk on these burning hot coals and you don't feel a thing. Nobody got injured. I think maybe there was a few people that had a Band-Aid or something. But to think that you're capable of doing something like that is mind-blowing, because I was absolutely terrified and
once you realize you
did
can
it
do that,
without any problems at all.
Once you realize you can do that, you can do anything. I think that's the mindset that he's trying to install in you, and it works.
Yep.
All right, what's the next thing?
All right, a lot of people in the comments ask us, are we rich? Are we millionaires or something? Because how the hell do we live this lifestyle? How do we do this thing? But well, so when you're in this lifestyle, it doesn't seem like anything, right? Because they're just doing it. It just is.
We just live in different places.
But the thing is that people don't know is when you live in a house and you have your cars and you have all this, you have payments, you have mortgage, you have this, it's a lot of overhead. We were there. We had 4 houses. We had 3 rental properties in Las Vegas. The overhead was enormous and strangling at points, you know, because say somebody moves out, they don't tell you, you have to cover it, they wreck the place, there's so much responsibility. We knew that wasn't the road we wanted to go down. We like less responsibility,
simplicity,
less obligation, less everything, less overhead. So when we decided to do this, we bought an old RV for $20,000. It's paid for. Our car, we had 2 nice cars. We got rid of 1 car. We have just 1 car now. So our overhead is extremely low compared to somebody that lives in a house. So when you live this kind of a lifestyle, you have a lot extra money because your overhead is so low. So we can go traveling, we can do all these things, and we travel budget friendly. So I love looking for cheap flights. That's my thing. When we know we're traveling, I'm like on it. And I'm on Skyscanner and Kayak and going back and forth and seeing, leaving the windows open. Oh, there's so many little tricks. But
to the fact, the amount of money that we would spend in a sticks and bricks and a sedentary lifestyle is the same amount of money that we spend on the road, traveling around, exploring,
the world, really,
adventuring, and getting to know crazy, exotic, foreign, out-of-the-box locations. It's actually cheaper to live this lifestyle than it is to be in a house.
That's what we feel.
I mean, just utilities, power, sewer, water, gas, trash, and cables alone is like $500.
At least.
We're in the Florida Keys right now, probably, I don't know, 500 feet from the water, paying less than $500 a month to be down here. So,
and there's no utilities, there's no nothing. Like, that's it. So we choose to spend our money in different ways. So we have the quality of life that we want, which we love travel, we love being out, we love doing all this. I can never live in a house again. I can never live in a sedentary life where I just go to the same Starbucks, I go to the same this, I go to the same job. Just couldn't do it. Once you get a taste of this life, and so many people during COVID got RVs and started traveling because they didn't have to go to work, and so they realized, oh my, there's a whole world out there.
It's amazing.
And I think that part of COVID was amazing because it just opened so many people's eyes, and I'm so happy for them because we had our own business, so we had that flexibility of traveling, but a lot of people don't because you have a 9-to-5, you have a job that you're obligated to. So a lot of people had a huge awakening of, wow, I don't want to go back to that job. I'm going to figure something else out. Yep. And we've had so many people message us and, oh my God, this is what's going on. I might be able to do this. And we cheer them on and help them any way we can. So if anybody's curious about doing this kind of lifestyle, reach out to us. We are an open book. We love helping in any way we can, to showing you what we did. So, take the stress off your plate.
Yeah. And no, we're not rich. We figure it out every single day. But we would rather struggle trying to figure it out than struggle working for somebody and being miserable.
So on the flip side, during COVID, we had our film business, and when COVID hit, like everybody else, we lost all of our jobs for the whole year.
Every single one of them.
And we went, whew, what are we gonna do now?
All right.
It was sobering, right? I think many, many people experienced that. But we always knew that we wanted to create online video courses teaching other people how to make videos and start a YouTube channel and be a YouTuber. And but we never could because we were so busy working or traveling and what was going on.
Yeah. Doing jobs for people that pay for them.
Doing jobs,
right?
yeah. And so COVID brought us an opportunity. So we focused 100% of our time. We created this whole masterclass on how to make YouTube videos, how to make videos, like everything about it. Then we just finished up. We have a whole suite of courses now in case anybody's interested in learning, or your kid.
Shameless plug.
A shameless plug. But we have 2 different kids courses. We have a masterclass, a separate editing one, how to start a YouTube channel. And our last one that we're working on is it's more of like a straight to the point, how to be a YouTuber, vlogger, start a YouTube channel, make travel videos. So that is what is the last thing that we're working on. But yeah, that's our deal. So that's now our income because we downsized our film business. So that way it really gave us the freedom to be traveling because we were in Bali in 2019 and Jimmy had to fly back by himself to Vegas to film 2 jobs. We didn't want to do that anymore. So the only way that we could do that though is we still had to make an income, and our courses are now our income.
Which brings us to the next phase of our grand adventure. We've been RVing for 5 years. I wouldn't say we're over it, but we're ready for a new adventure, something a little bit more exciting. And so that's where the boat comes in. And we are grinding away. If you can see in the background, I don't know if you can see it or not. That's where we're trying to get to. Far away, exotic, foreign locations that don't even make sense to us. And so we are night and day, 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. We are grinding at our craft, trying to get it perfect, dialed in, and just get it going.
A catamaran, sailboat, a Fountain Peugeot, like a 50-footer?
45 foot, probably 50 foot.
Minimum
like
45, because we want to live on it, and I don't want to be squished. There's 5 of us.
So it'll be like it'll be like 2 RVs put together. So that's how big these things are.
So it will be a upgrade in space.
Right. And we say this all the time. Do we know how to sail? Not at all, but we can learn because at one point we didn't know how to RV. At one point we didn't know how to start a business. At one point we didn't know how to be self-employed and travel the world. But you figure it out.
It's all about trying something new.
If
you want to do the same thing forever and ever and ever, I don't know, it loses its luster, it loses its, where's the passion, where's the excitement, And
we're looking for the next challenge for sure. So that's why we're so excited about this new venture. We dream about this stuff. We watch this stuff as people watch RV videos, we're watching sailing videos. So that's our next thing. We love...
Shout out to Sailing the Vagabond.
The Sailing Family's a great one. Who else do we watch? Gone with the Winds is one of our favorites.
Gone with the Winds, Jason and Nikki.
And there's another one called Nahoa that we watch
Sailing
all the time.
So there's a ton of them out there.
There's so many.
And we just get lost in the beauty of...
I can't wait. I can't wait.
Either.
So that's a little bit of things about us that you might not have known. We did 15 of them through here. And we hope you guys enjoyed it. Maybe get a little chance to connect with us some more. If you have any questions, please drop them in the comments.
And if you can relate to anything, or you have the same whatever, put it in the comments, because we really want to create a community of people. And we have so many people already that we're chatting back and forth all the time, but we want everybody to sort of connect through all of this, because that's what life's about, man.
That's what it's all about. So guys, get out there. I hope we inspired you, because you've inspired us to try something new.